This video is going to cover the different color panels you can find in Adobe Illustrator. The objective of this part of the video is to be able to locate and use the color panels in Illustrator to create more sophisticated colors in the basic color swatches in the Swatches panel. So I'm going to talk about the Swatches panel first. I'm going to double click on this color icon in the toolbar, the fill one, and that brings up the color picker. Here's your RGB values, your CMYK, and your hex code. I'm just going to choose one of these colors. We'll go with that and click OK. If you want to use your color swatches, you can click on color swatches, and then there are all your color swatches. Now it's filled in. Now, to be able to easily use this color over and over again, all I need to do in the swatches panel, I can either drag the fill color over to the swatches panel and drop it, or I can do add selected colors. Whatever object you have selected, it will add that color to your swatches panel. Here's the color one, and again, I'm in RGB mode, so this has the RGB scales. You can change that by going up to these three lines in the top right, and then you get your different options: grayscale, HSB. I don't remember what HSB stands for, but the ones that we use are RGB and CMYK, and then WebSafe would be the three that you need to know. If these aren't showing, all you have to do is click Show Options, and then you'll get a bigger panel. If something's not open, you go Window, and you open it, and you open the one you want. We are looking for the color guide. So I feel like I've explained this one before, but just to make sure, you choose a color, and then it gives you shades and tints of that color. So if you need to create shading or highlights, this is an easy way to do it. So this is pulling from this grouping of colors right here, and you can change what it pulls from right there. Get all kinds of options. And then the really cool thing, Window, Color Themes. So this will typically show up as a panel over here. I like to drag it out by itself. So you learned about color harmonies, and this is a way that you can create color harmonies. And then over here, here's your color rule, this last one, and you can change it to monochromatic, triad, complementary, compound, shades. The first one is analogous. And then the way these work is you drag them out, move them around. And if you use the version in Adobe Illustrator, you can do save. Okay, it's saved to Megapack. Back to my libraries. Come on. And here's the grouping right here. So if I want to get these into swatches, right click it, add color to swatches, or add theme to swatches. So if I want all of them, there they are. Okay, so the other two options I'm going to show you are outside of Adobe. And if you type in Adobe Color and go to color.adobe, this is the same tool as what's in Adobe Illustrator, except it's a little bit bigger. What you can't do is save these to Adobe Illustrator. I can because I have a different subscription than you. So on the colors, they give you the hex code numbers, and you could just copy those. But typically what I would do is I would take a screenshot, which is Windows Shift S. There it is. Drag out on my colors. It's in my clipboard now. I would paste that into Adobe Illustrator and then use my eyedropper to get my colors really quickly, okay? And then if you have a really hard time creating color palettes, I highly suggest Pinterest. They have really good options. So if you just type in, let's say I'm looking for a teal color palette. They give you all kinds of options, and you can copy the images and paste them into Adobe Illustrator and just use your eyedropper to get the colors. And there's one more. It's called Color Lovers. And this is filled with palettes that have already been created. You can type in a mood, say happy. And you'll get millions of color palettes that convey the mood happy. And when you click on these, I also do a screenshot of just that little bit. But these ones give you their hex codes in RGB. So let's go over this project. So for this project, you're going to once again upload all of your Illustrator files to this folder. It will say the project name. You are also going to you're going to write an explanation, and it doesn't need to be long, of what tools you use to create this, what your color scheme is, what did you base your colors on? Did you choose maybe warm colors, or you wanted to create something happy, or that kind of thing? All right, so the project. You're going to create a design that communicates using color in Adobe Illustrator. This leaves the project wide open to what you want to do to put your interests into it. Past projects they've created a mood, they've created something using warm versus cool colors, a villain, a superhero, or the color wheel reinvented, and I will show you an example in a minute. The rules. You must have a concrete reason for using the colors in your design, and you have to be able to tell me what they are. That's where the explanation comes in. You must use the pen tool in Illustrator for 60% of your design. The rest, you can use any of the tools that you have learned to date, or you can experiment with some of the other tools in there. So optional rules. You can use 40% of any of the tools we've learned, but on the toolbar, there's a couple tools that you might want to play with. You can use any of these. These are super fun, but if it's not working like you want, come see me. A lot of times you have to make your brush size smaller. You can play with these tools. These are the ones that I suggest, but there are others in the toolbar that you can play with. Feel free to experiment. And then also effects. The menu bar, they fall under effect, and you can do all kinds of things. Feel free to experiment to see what we can do. Okay, so you're going to name this file, and I did put it at the top. Your name dash color pen, and then it's going to be an AI file. Okay, so you don't have to put in .ai. Just hit enter after you put in your name and color pen, and it will automatically add that .ai. The due date is April 14th, and we're going to critique on the 5th. So here's an example. You guys have seen this displayed on my screen if you've been in class. This student chose to represent the color wheel, and they're doing it more in a linear fashion than in that circular fashion. The colors go from warm to cool, and they follow that rainbow order. Each of the colors, so this is the red side, and it moves into orange, yellow, green, and blue. There are tints and shades of that color within the lines of that color. The eyes and eyebrows on this they're using colors that contrast with that side of the face. And then, so I give you an example of what I'm looking for in writing right here. And one thing that came out of this, they used the pen tool for everything except the eyes. And for the eyes, they used the ellipse tool. But what came out of it is there's this strange focus on the eyes that the student didn't intend because they're so perfectly shaped versus all the other unperfectly shaped pieces. And so that's one thing the student told me that he would want to change.